Good evening, Dr. Aubrey. My name is Ștefan Ionescu. This is a assignment for week 4, sensitivity analysis as a tool for capital budgeting. What is sensitivity analysis? Sensitivity analysis, also known as simulation analysis, is a technique used to determine how, under certain conditions, a dependent variable can be influenced by different values of certain independent variables. It is a mathematical model of how different sources affect the output of a certain model. The application of sensitivity analysis is used in a wide range of domains such as economics, engineering, chemistry, biology, social studies, etc. It is usually used in models which the output results are not easily defined and cannot be subject to an analysis of several random and undefined inputs. Sensitivity analysis usage and operation. Sensitivity analysis can be used either locally or globally. In a nutshell, sensitivity analysis, as the name implies, observes changes in the outcome of a model based on different forces that are exerted on the model or changes in conditions around the model. Also known as what-if analysis, sensitivity analysis is using the technique of measuring different outcomes using alternative assumptions across a range of different variables. In working with this kind of model, analysts need to be careful dealing with certain parameters. First, the input variables need to be determined, of which the value will be modified during the analysis. Second, it needs to be established how many variables will be affected anytime in the future. Third, there need to be assigned a maximum and a minimum to the variables studied. And lastly, the analyst need to closely inspect the correlation between the input parameters and the output results. There are 4 steps in sensitivity analysis. Step number 1, defining the case output. To define the results measured for every input value that the sensitivity is measured. Step number 2, determining the new output value to determine the values of the results based on the new input value when all the other input values remain constant. Step number 3, calculating the change to calculate the percentage of change in results and the change in the input factors. And finally, step number 4, calculate the sensitivity to calculate the sensitivity by dividing the percentage change in the results by the percentage change in the input factors. There are a few applications of sensitivity analysis. First, it is a huge help in decision making. It is a method of foreseeing an outcome of a decision if the situation turns out to be different compared with the main predictions. Helps management to take informed and appropriate decision. Helps searching for errors and faults in the model studied. Helps assess the riskiness of a strategy. Main value is the indication of sensitivity of the simulation to the uncertainties of input factors of the model. Now let's take a sensitivity analysis example. In this example, we will take a surfboard making company that tries to understand the impact of early summer on the total sales of surfboards. The analyst in charge, Dylan, with the help of forecast sales, knows that the sales volume usually peaks in the late first to the beginning of the second quarter of the year, namely March, April, and May. Dylan observed that when the weather warms up early in the year and the seawater heats up 3 weeks earlier than usual, there is a 10% increase in sales. Based on this knowledge, Dylan was able to work on his forecast model, as well as coming with a sensitivity model based on a different what-if scenarios. After introducing all the parameters, Dylan predicts that if the weather warms up earlier than usual by 4 weeks, 3 weeks, and 1 week, the sales volume of surfboards will increase by 17%, 10%, and 4% respectively. Now let's go to risk analysis and capital budgeting. All companies need some risk analysis calculation that provides some information into certain long-term investment outcomes, as well as helping the management choose between various crucial decision-making factors. Having an expert risk analysis as well as possessing the necessary knowledge of different expected outcomes will help companies better weigh the future investment opportunities and be better positioned on dealing with capital budgeting risks. Building a detailed process on appraising new opportunities, organizations can better estimate cash flows, understand and develop long-term objectives, and process more efficiently capital expenditure, all based on a solid risk analysis, which is imperative in long-term decision objectives. There are four types of risk analysis for capital budgeting. First one, sensitivity analysis, makes use of different scenario possibilities to model a range of possible results for management to evaluate different business decisions. Second is scenario analysis, makes projections of different economic and financial events that can lead to some plausible scenarios for decision-making process. Break-even analysis, sales-related technique that makes prediction of future scenarios based on the same amount of revenues collected and corresponding costs. Simulation analysis based on interactions between different variables makes predictions about the change in other variables. In conclusion, risk analysis is a very important business tool that, when done correctly and truthfully, helps the organization to be prepared in case of an undesired outcome. The company can deal with the consequences efficiently and still survive the downturn, benefiting not only the company but its employees, suppliers, creditors, and shareholders. Risk analysis conducted by a professional team, either internal or external, can help making intelligent decisions which are beneficial long-term for the company's value, wealth, and goals. The references that I used are on the last slide. I hope that you liked it, and thank you for taking your time to listen to me, and I appreciate everything that you've done for us. Thank you.